Hi, I'm Ed from Up for Motor Services. We're Professional Motor Mechanic magazine and we're here today with Elta looking at their VX Pro ABS sensors. If you enjoy the content, then please hit the subscribe button. ABS sensors are one of the most commonly misdiagnosed things in the workshop, so we're going to take a look at all things ABS sensors and hopefully help you diagnose them better. So, what are wheel speed sensors? Got one in my hands. They do what they say on the tin. They literally detect the speed at each individual wheel. You have 4 of them on a vehicle and they connect to all the various systems on the vehicle, engine management, airbag, etc. But the main one is the ABS unit and the traction control units. So it can detect which speed each individual wheel was going. So if you've got traction issues, skidding issues, the car starts moving around, it will do lots of wonderful things to keep you on the road and keep you as safe as possible. Did you know VX Pro have a return rate of 1 in 200 wheel speed sensors? And most of the time there's nothing wrong with them. There's many reasons they are sent back. Main ones being misdiagnosis, so just going off the fault codes alone. You're going to lead yourself down the wrong track to go down that way. Incorrect installation, so wrong air gaps and damaging during fitments. Knowing the difference between passive and inductive sensors, so this leads me on to the next one. Incorrect testing methods, and also making sure you've got the right part for the right vehicle. Right, we're now going to talk a little bit about how to properly diagnose wheel speed sensors. This is key to making sure you've got the right part. So the first things first is obviously most of the time you have an ABS light on or a traction control light or something along those lines, is to get it in the workshop and carry out a full fault code scan on the vehicle. And obviously more than likely it will have some ABS sensor codes in there, but please just use them in context. That doesn't mean it's definitely an ABS sensor. You need to carry out proper, thorough testing to make sure that item is faulty before firing a part at it. Before we get deep into some diagnostics on wheel speed sensors, you need to know the difference between an active and a passive sensor. Most active sensors are on modern cars these days, and passive you'll see on a lot of older vehicles. You can normally tell because they have a proper toothed cog on the pickup, and it works by having no voltage to the sensor, and it uses the pickup just to create a voltage, whereas the active normally has a permanent power source to it. But you need to know the difference between them because there's different ways of testing them. So here is my second favourite tool in the workshop, the multimeter. These are really good for carrying out basic checks, and that's why you need to know the difference between the sensors, because you can resistance check a passive sensor, but you cannot resistance check an active sensor, as it will damage the sensor. And obviously with an active sensor, you can carry out voltage checks to make sure there's voltage down to the sensor, but the best tool to use is an oscilloscope, and that's what we're going to show you next. So my favourite tool in the workshop, the oscilloscope. So this is the best thing for testing any sensor, anything on a vehicle really, to be honest with you, but especially for testing wheel speed sensors, because you can literally plug it straight in and see the live wave that is coming out, and you'll also be able to figure out quite easily what sort of sensor you've got. So if you've got a passive sensor, it will be a continuous sine wave, whereas if you've got an active sensor, it will be a square waveform. So some good symptoms to watch out for. Obviously most of the time you'll have an ABS warning light on or a traction control warning light. But the ones you need to watch out is the intermittent faults. Intermittent faults can cause a lot of problems, especially on diagnosis, especially the vehicle's not here. And it would be very tempting just to chuck an ABS sensor in there just to see if it cures it. That's not the right way to do it. And sometimes you may even have to send the customer away and get them back in when the sensor or the fault is more permanent. But another one is traction control faults. We've all had BMWs, the older style models, where the traction control kicks in around about 60 or 70 miles per hour and it doesn't bring any fault codes up. And we had it where the actual reluctor ring expands and causes the wrong signal and sometimes hits the ABS sensor. So just a little hint there for you to look out for. So we've talked a lot about diagnosing wheel speed sensors correctly, but fitting it is obviously just as critical. A lot of times they get broken during fitment or anything like that. So the main thing is you've got to check the gap between the actual sensor and the pickup itself. It's very, very critical. Make sure it's not contaminated and clean the area really well. Also, torque the sensor up properly. They're delicate plastic sensors, and so they need to be torqued to the right manufacturer's specifications. And also, make sure you've got the right part for the vehicle. Cross-referencing, use the dealer sites, use parts links, something like that to make sure you get the right part for the right car. Right, so we've got one of my trusty old vans in today. It's got various lights on the dash. So we're going to ignore the engine management and the DPF light, but it's also got an ABS, traction control light and a hill assist light. So what we're going to, first things first, is we're going to plug it in and see what fault code we've got. So we plugged the vehicle in, carried out a code scan on it, and as we can see we've got a fault code for the offside front ABS wheel speed sensor. So I'm going to skip the multimeter part and I'm going to go straight to a scope because, as I said, it's my favourite tool in the workshop. As you can see here, there is no waveform at all on this, but for a bit of context what we're going to do is we're going to show you the other side so you can see what a waveform should look like on this vehicle. So the waveform we've got here is a square waveform, so we know this is an active sensor. So this is a really good test to see what type of sensor you've actually got. We're doing some non-intrusive testing or any resistance testing so you won't damage the sensor. So we're now going to get the correct part. We've cross-referenced it, made sure it's the correct part for the vehicle. We're then going to now fit it using the correct methods, so torquing it, making sure all the surfaces are clean and making sure the air gap's correct, making sure there's no contamination on the pickup. Right, now we're going to get the wheels back on it, get them torqued up, get the codes cleared out of the vehicle, and we're going to take it for a road test, and I'm confident it's going to cure the fault. So let's talk a little bit about VX Pro. VX Pro, we've used them for many years and all their products are really good. We barely have a return rate. That's probably because we do a correct diagnosis procedure in the workshop. But VX Pro, they are OE quality matching products. They've got a really wide range for all engine management sensors and solenoids or EGR valves, bits and bobs like that. So yes, I can really vouch and say that VX Pro are a good quality product. I hope this video has helped. The ABS and wheel speed sensors are misdiagnosed frequently, and hopefully this can help you with some of the items I've talked about diagnosing the vehicle correctly and making sure you fit the right parts to the right car. And most importantly, you're going to have a happy customer, you're going to have a happy tech because he's not going to have to bring it in again, and also the ABS system is a safety component on the vehicle, so making sure you get it right first time makes everyone happy and safe. So if this video has helped you to understand and diagnose ABS sensors, then please like and subscribe. And if you need more information on Welter's products, then in the description below there is a link for it. I'll see you on the next one.